Harry's Wife, Part 102.50, Financial Trouble. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, and this might be the sound of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex coppering up, as we Brits say, as they go to the behind the sofa or the back of the sofa fund. They go through the old trouser pockets, looking for that spare wonga, that spare change, because it would appear that there is a suggestion that they are viewed as comparatively poor and that they are experiencing some financial difficulties. We turn, first of all, to an article in the Times newspaper, which asks, Harry and Harry's wife on the move to Hope Ranch. Tina Brown says the Sussexes are the poor neighbours in Monty Shit Show. Hilary Rose, good old Hilary, reports. Pity the poor residents of Hope Ranch, California. On the one hand, they live in a beachfront, palm-treed paradise where the sun shines nearly every day. On the other, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are rumoured to be moving in. The welcome may not be warm. Nobody in Hope Ranch holds any ill will towards the Sussexes, one of them has said, but the fact is many fear they're going to bring a circus to their quiet, super-private burb, since they're so famous and controversial. The couple would present real-world problems, the resident continued, because the streets are narrow and could become clogged with paparazzi. It could create peril, they told the celebrity site TMZ, especially for kids who are playing and walking to school. Yet it's only a few weeks since Harry's wife told The Cut magazine how much she loved their present home in Monty Shit Show. Demonstrates the hypocrisy and compartmentalisation of the narcissist. They hadn't wanted to view it, she said, because we didn't have jobs. You still don't. So we're just not going to come and see this house. It wasn't possible. Thanks to a reported $25 million from Spotify and $100 million from Netflix, plus a rumoured advance of £14.5 million for Harry's memoirs, buying a $14 million house suddenly became a lot more possible. More to the point, how could they not buy a house whose garden featured 2 palm trees joined at the base? My love, Harry told Harry's wife, it's us. The parental trees. You walk in and go, joy, Harry's wife said in her interview, and exhale, and calm, it's healing. You feel free. Yesterday, we learnt more about life in Monty Shit Show after Prince Harry spoke to children helped by the charity Well Child, whose awards ceremony he had been due to attend before the death of the Queen. Archie, he revealed, is very busy and has a toy giraffe called Gerald, while Lilibet is learning to use her voice. The family's 3 dogs, Pula, a black Labrador, and rescue beagles Guy and Mia, charge around chasing squirrels and causing all sorts of problems. But they're also emotional support dogs, 100%, when they're behaving. Absolutely fascinating. The house, the writer noted, had a lawn so verdant it's better not to consider the water bill, which brings us neatly to one reason they might be moving: money. According to the royal biographer Tina Brown, it's not very pleasant to be a D-list celebrity who, for them, doesn't have enough money. She told the Henley Literary Festival at the weekend. It's a wholly different game to be with those super rich people. In Monty Shit Show, their $14 million mansion is a humble cottage compared to what these other people have. Those other people famously include Oprah Winfrey, who bought up 3 neighbouring estates to form a vast one worth $100 million, and Gwyneth Colemy Gold Paltrow, who recently finished building her dream home. It has an 18th century fireplace and a floor imported from a French chateau, a spa complex, and a bathroom angled precisely to take advantage of the sun setting over the Pacific. In the parallel universe that is Monty Shit Show, the Sussexes mansion is entry-level wealth. And the cost of their lifestyle could feasibly blow the roof off. And this, of course, is one of the problems that Harry's wife has, is that her grasping narcissism has propelled her into this position that she's in. But then she looks around her, and unable to experience contentment because narcissists can't, she's placed herself in a position where she's able to look down on many people, but also she's having to look up at other people also. And driven by her narcissistic trait of envy, she sees people with spa complexes, with more flushing toilets than she has. People whose bathrooms have been angled so that the Pacific setting sun shines through precisely correctly. She sees that supposed friend Oprah, who no longer returns calls and keeps sending back the banana bread that's been baked for her, has a $100 million estate. And all of that threatens Harry's wife's sense of control, because although she's catapulted herself onto the world stage with considerable wealth associated with it, she's still very much a minnow compared to some of the big hitters out there. Not only that, they've got problems in terms of 1, the level of wealth that they have, 2, their ability to generate more, 3, expenditure. When it comes to expenditure, certain narcissists are financially haphazard because it's indicative of the now nature of their narcissism and a lack of accountability for the way that they spend money, often spending money that doesn't belong to them. The position that Harry's wife finds herself in is something which is indicative of her narcissism, but also, having got her into this position, it continues to cause problems for her because all she has to do is look around at the neighbourhood and realise that she isn't the supreme cheese that she believes herself to be. The narcissism sees this and will then start to say to her, you need to do something about it. You need to get the larger house. You need to earn more money. Returning to the article, their security bill alone has been estimated by Forbes magazine to be between $2 million and $3 million a year. For that, as well as personal protection personnel working round the clock, there might also be drones, dogs, teams to check locations before they visit, people monitoring social media for threats, and arranging decoys to throw photographers off their trail. One security expert told Forbes that the couple made a rookie mistake in buying their Monty Shit Show home in their own name because it made their address publicly available. Again, underpinning the mid-range narcissist nature of her narcissism. He boasted, find it in 10 minutes online, and some people have, which could be another factor behind the rumoured move. Local police are said to have received 6 calls about security breaches in only 14 months, including 2 in less than a fortnight, and a trespasser on the couple's wedding anniversary in May. Concerned by a series of sophisticated burglaries in the area, Santa Barbara police have installed number plate recognition cameras on many roads. The couple have been photographed at the Santa Barbara Polo and Racquet Club, which overlooks the Pacific and boasts that it is polo in paradise. And paradise doesn't come cheap. The membership application asks if you've ever sued a club of which you were a member, although happily suing private members' clubs appears to be one of the few areas of litigation in which the couple are not at present engaged. It costs nearly $900 a season just to watch, although that is for a family ticket, and does include car parking. Harry, however, doesn't just watch polo, he plays it. It's not clear whether he rides his own horse or someone else's. Buying, and training and stabling polo ponies cost millions of dollars a year. Then there's the private jet he recently took to a match in a different state. One of Harry's wife's Netflix projects, a children's TV program, has already been cancelled, and Harry is said to be desperately trying to modify some parts of his book, which was due to be published imminently to capture the Thanksgiving and Christmas markets. The first draft was allegedly rejected because it was too touchy-feely and focused on mental health. No prize for guessing who was behind that. What a publisher wants from a multi-million-pound advance, it appears, is juice. Then there are the legal bills, with the couple launching a new action against the tabloid and the PR bills. The couple recently parted ways with an expensive PR firm, Sunshine Sachs. The Daily Mail reported sources saying she takes the view that she doesn't need to pay an outside firm a lot of money to do PR for her and Harry anymore. Sussex PR will be now handled in-house by Christine Weil-Schwirmer, who used to work in Silicon Valley. See parts passing for my observations about that. They are now in this bind, Brown says, where they've taken all this money, and Harry has made this bulk deal, where he's supposed to spill everything about his horrible life as a royal, but now he's actually tortured about it, because he understands there is no way back if he does it. If the book continues, I don't think there is any way for Harry to return. So my view has always been that the book won't see the light of day. If she is right, Harry might have to repay his advance. Alternatively, she speculates, his father might do it for him. I always thought at some point a deal would be made, and Charles would have to pay back the advance to stop Harry writing this book. Of course, flexing his financial firepower, King Charles would be able to do that to prevent the threat to control posed by what is contained within this book, and may willingly do so, as his narcissism would see this was an appropriate thing to do. Returning to the article, which prompts the question, if criticising the royal family is their big earner, and if they're going to pull back on that for one reason or another, respect for the late Queen, the ascension of Harry's father to the throne, or even a desire to make amends with his family, then how are they going to pay the bills? Well, this is an entirely legitimate point. They, of course, cozied up to the royal family initially, and then, because of Harry's wife's narcissism demonstrating that she couldn't continue to do that, it meant that the problem that arose for them was that they would have to utilise the connection with the royal family, but in an adverse way, i.e., harness her narcissism, which repeatedly brings her to smear them, with them making money out of doing that. But if, perhaps as a consequence of Harry now digging his heels in and drawing a line in the sand and saying, no, we're not going to do that any longer, this poses a major problem. They haven't got anything else to sell. He's dim, she's empty. She has no talent. You only have to put yourself through the excruciating experience of listening to the podcraps in terms of arsey wipes to realise that they are goddamn awful. And that she hasn't got an ounce of talent other than that driven by her narcissism, namely drawing people in, sucking the prime aims out of them, then casting them to one side within her body. Accordingly, the fact if they're not able to throw pelters at the royal family means that they're going to cut off a potential avenue for income. Now, of course, remember, Harry's wife's narcissism is such that it operates in the moment. And it may well be that her narcissism deems that it's appropriate to stop throwing those pelters, and in so doing then loses a residual benefit, which causes them further problems. This, of course, is part of the downward spiral, which I predicted some time ago. Returning to the article, Harry inherited £6.5 million from his mother, which is thought to have accrued interest to increase the tune to about £10 million. And Harry's wife is believed to have earned about $50,000 an episode for Suits. In the world they now live in, lawns don't stay green by themselves. Their house memorably has 16 bathrooms, and who knows what it costs to run Archie's chicken coop. I'd also add in there, how much does it cost to have an invisible hand light your scented candle as well? If all roads lead to Hove Ranch, what can they expect? 10 miles up the coast from Montecito, just a 15-minute drive, it's said to be a friendly community of fewer than 800 homes sprawled over 1,800 acres, arguably less starry and more understated than Montecito. The area has been described by locals, one of whom is the rapper Snoop Dogg, as upscale and thoroughly private. For the privacy-obsessed couple who recently released new photographs of themselves, the key word here is private. It isn't an entirely gated community, but only 3 of the roads are public, and it has its own security patrol, which may help to reduce the Sussexes' reliance on outsiders. It is, say insiders, a palm-lined peaceful oasis that is a world all of its own. It has a private golf club, private tennis courts, and a private beach complete with a summer staff of beach boys and a food stand. There's also 22 miles of riding trails, which are almost certainly private too. Homes for sale range from $3 million to $22 million, but there are plenty around the $7 or $8 million mark. Brown joked about Harry's wife that at some point it might be more than a new house she's looking for. Elon Musk is still single. That's all I have to say. Well, of course, financial problems may well be manifest. Burned through existing money, potential avenues for earning, diminishing all of the time as a consequence of absence of talent and becoming less popular. And thirdly, her ability to go through money like it's going out of fashion. This could, of course, all contribute to the hastening of the disengagement of Prince Harry for reasons I've explained in part 102.48, and the possibility of lining up someone wealthier than him. Watch this space. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.